After nearly 10 years, the Aces and Eights have finally returned to Impact Wrestling. Nearly a decade since we last seen this stable, and they are back, guys. Impact Wrestling held the Citrus Bowl television tapings on Saturday night in Orlando, Florida, leading up to the 2002 Slammiversary pay-per-view event. Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff, managed by D'Lo Brown, returned to the company as, yes, Aces and Eights, and had a match against Honor, No More Vincent and Kenny King. Unfortunately, Aces and Eights lost the match, which maybe tells me that they are not going to be a full-time thing. This may have just been a one-off, which would absolutely suck. But yeah, no, the faction that debuted in 2012 and ended in 2013, so they weren't around for that long, but it was entertaining stuff while they were there. And I mean, this return is good news and bad news. I mean, first of all, the good news is, I mean, it's Aces and Eights. It's something to get excited about. It's in my opinion, especially in TNA terms, Impact Wrestling terms, it's a legendary stable. It was an exciting stable. It was a fun stable that gave us lots of good stuff. But the bad news is, it's two fucking bums that returned. Arguably the worst two members of the faction were Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff. It's not like we got Bully Ray and Devon. It's not like we got Billy Ray and Mr. Kennedy. We get Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff. Two guys that we didn't want in the stable 10 years ago, and we don't want to see them now. But yeah, Aces and Eights, I think there's definitely potential for there's a spot for this stable 100% in TNA. TNA is fucking horrendous these days. TNA is unwatchable. I mean, at least bring Aces and Eights back. But the thing about Aces and Eights, nobody really cared about the members. The members didn't really matter. For a long period of time, they wore masks anyway, so you didn't even know their identity. And I suppose the bad thing is, when they took the masks off, it just kind of ruined it, because you're like, oh, look who it is. I mean, you didn't even know half of them to begin with. Maybe if they kept the masks on, the stable would have been better. But to essentially have a good Aces and Eights return, to have like a second run with this stable, you don't need all these guys. You don't need Wes Briscoe. You don't need Garrett Bischoff. All you need is Bully Ray. You need the president, and you need some bums to sit at the table alongside the president. What about Brooke Tessmacher? Maybe get her ass back on screen, because that would bring in the ratings that TNA desperately need. And those leather booty shorts that she used to wear, she wore it like a bloody headband around her waist. That's how like fucking small the shorts were. Bring those back. I mean, you start off Impact Wrestling, you've got her walking into the clubhouse, you've got Bully Ray sitting with the title, drinking fucking beer, he's got the gavel, he's slamming it onto the table. I mean, you've got hot chicks. What do you have now? Absolutely nothing. So, I mean, if you want Impact to be successful, if you want Impact to get back to its glory days, just bring back Bully Ray. Bring back a couple of bums, stick some patches on them, and make sure Brooke Tessmacher's ass is on the screen. That's it. That's it. You don't need great writers. You don't need 50-50 booking. You don't need 30-minute matches that Dave Meltzer's going to rate 5 stars. You just need Bully Ray and Tessmacher's ass. Do that, and Impact Wrestling can get back to its glory days, in my opinion. So anyway, guys, there you go. Aces and Eights returns. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a one-off. And I've no real desire to see it return if it's going to be Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff leading the way. But what I would love to see is a Bully Ray return, and Bully Ray to sit at the head of the table. Fuck Roman Reigns and that fake table, right? We all know when Bully Ray sits at the top of the table, he's the man in charge. He's the president, President Bully. Anyway, guys, that's it. Till next time, peace.